Welcome back
Done.
to another episode of One on One with Courtney Starks. I'm so happy that you are here. My name is Courtney, and the queen to the other side of the screen is actress and star of BET's Average Joe, Ashley Olivia Fisher. Everybody's make some noise. Ashley, how are you
What's
doing, queen?
I'm good. Pinch me. Everything seems so surreal.
I know,
That's
right?
it.
Can you imagine? And I think I'm so much more connected to you because we both live in New York. When I found out that
Yes.
you were from Queens, I was like, okay, this just makes sense. It just does. I needed this to happen. I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. I know how
So
it is.
let's talk. Let's talk how you been. What's going on? Let's. I'm so excited for you. I have to let you know this. I am so excited for you. How has this time been? How are you taking it all in?
I, I every day I'm just like, what's happening? It's always something new. Like even interviewing with you, I'm so grateful for it because I can't believe I'm getting all these opportunities. Um, from like the Times Square billboard to like the LA premiere to like the BET Awards to like the new stuff I've been doing it's just been like I just been on go, but I'm so appreciative. Like it's been feeling like so surreal. My parents call me like crying sometimes and I'm just like emotions and everything and
Yeah,
it's just been like I'm so grateful for God. Like I'm just so grateful. I have so much gratitude. So it's hard for me to explain or put into words how I
yeah.
feel.
Well, you deserve it,
Taking
right?
it
It's
all.
hard work, right? It's hard work and it's prayer and it's dedication and it's consistency all wrapped into one. You understand what I'm saying? So let's take it back just a little bit. I was reading that you started taking classes at 11. So when I'm
Mhm.
talking about dedication and prayer, everyone, that's what this looks like. So when when and what inside of you at what age were you like, your mom, this is it. Like this is what I want
Uh,
to do. At what age was that pop for you?
I always wanted to, since like
Mm.
five, whatever, three. I was always talking to myself with my dolls, coming
Mm-hmm.
scenarios, coming up with just plays to perform in front of the family and stuff like that. And I always like I would watch movies and I always be like, I want to do that. I always said I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got this pamphlet in junior high school for this acting class. And then I brought it to my mom when I came home and I was like, Mom, this pamphlet came, there's this acting school and I think I should start going to it. And she was like, "All right," because she knew I was always into that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She supported it. Then from there, I went to LaGuardia High School, and then being around those kids, I mean, most of those kids, they came from doing movies already,
Yeah.
Broadway already, and things like that. And I was just like, I want to do that. I should have done that. I can do that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after just being around, peers of that kind of caliber, it just made me want to realize, I just realized like I could do it too. Like,
Yeah.
why can't I do it too?
Yeah.
And I always wanted to act. Like every time I try to figure out something else I want to do in my life, is it don't really work out for
Right.
me.
Right. Right.
So I just feel like I always get called back into acting. Like I could get like a bad like, I can have like a period of, rejections and maybe not getting where I want. But then I feel like I'm breaking, and then all of a sudden I get an email from a manager. I get just a sign where it's like
Mm.
it still be acting. So
Yeah.
it's something I always wanted to do. So I've always wanted to do this.
Come
I don't.
on. Come on. And I love that you speak about this. Like a lot of times, many of us are this way, right? Like, all right, I'm gonna put this to the side. I got things to do. But that thing that you're supposed to do is like, but there's room.
Yeah.
Hey, there's room. Hey, I'm here, and I love that. So let's talk about growing up in Queens, right? It's trying to make this a reality when you're living in a place sometimes that isn't always as supportive or isn't always as like it's not butterflies and unicorns out here, people. Sometimes it just takes a lot of work. So growing up in Queens, how was it for you to just want to make it happen and seeing that sometimes there are some days where it didn't feel like it?
I think well, luckily for me, I've had two older siblings who are, I don't want to say the word popular or well known. And I felt like we've always had like the support system of our community in
Yeah.
anything pursue, whether it was like a clothing line. My sister hosts certain events in New York City as strictly R&B events. My brother has his own clothing line and things like that. We've just always grew up with a solid community that's supported. So that's
Mm.
why city so hard. I think what it is for me is that inspiration. I'm like, this is hard for me to even like indulge. I inspire other people. And when I
Yeah.
see that community, from my own neighbors, from my own people from around the way, childhood friends, and they're like, you're inspiring me. I think it just does something more when you hit home, where you
Mm.
hit where the most. And I
Yeah.
think my drive is to show that. I think anytime I book something or I would post something or anything throughout my whole career, I've always had my city behind me, and they have been the ones to pull me like up when I'm super, super down, maybe by
Yeah.
a message or a text or a comment under a post when you feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're not doing anything, but you're doing a lot. So I feel
Yeah.
like like Queens has definitely done that for me. And I think just the fact that I'm inspiring others and I'm inspiring my hometown,
Mm.
there's like inspiring your own hometown. So it's
Man.
like I want to wear the crown. I have no I don't mind wearing the crown and representing for all the people here in Queens. You know what
Let's go.
I
Let's go. So before we even dive into Average Joe, what
mean?
was it like the first time you saw yourself on screen?
Oh my gosh. So like you do you mean for this episode in general? Like when I got
Yes.
the pilot? Okay,
Yes.
so so around April or May, my manager sent me a link and they were like, "Oh, this is for you. Here's the first 4 episodes." And I'm like, "I'm not watching this because I don't watch my like I'm not watching this. I don't want to watch myself. I'm like ill at my voice, ill at everything." And he was like, "Ashley, you have to watch it because when we go to the premiere, you're gonna get asked questions. You gotta watch it. You gotta indulge in yourself, and it's great."
Mm.
And I was like, ugh. It took me about, I don't know, a little over a week to really like sit myself to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it by myself in my room, and I was just like, "Oh my God, that's me." And I'm like, and then I'm critiquing, then I'm thinking, and I'm over,
Right,
I'm
right.
just indulging, and I'm like, wow, this was a really pilot episode.
Mm.
And I just felt like I just felt super proud of myself. It was
Yeah.
almost real. Like I'm watching it, and then there was times I got in my head, and then there was just moments where I'm just like, wow, we really produced a really, really dope show.
Mm.
So that it kind of like clouded all that other stuff that's like
Yeah, of
around.
course. Of course.
And then after seeing myself, I was like, okay, I want to watch the second episode. I think I can start watch it. So then I watched all four that night. And
Wow.
I was just really surprised that I did that. But I was really happy because man, I was just like, I can't believe I'm seeing myself here. And then we did such a great job with the first episode, the pilot.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch the other 3 episodes.
Oh
So,
man.
I mean, that tells you a lot from a girl who
Yeah.
doesn't watch her own
Right.
stuff.
Yes. Yes. And to be able to like just look at all of the work you put into that, right? All of the hard work and the dedication, once again, that you put into making this thing happen. And it's
I know.
here, right? It's finally here. So let's tap into Average Joe. So
Mhm.
everybody, Average Joe is now on BET. It is streaming on BET Plus and it airs weekly. And you play Jennifer Washington. But before we
Mhm.
even get into the character, run us a little bit through the premise of Average Joe.
So, Average Joe is a dramedy, I would say, with a lot of different aspects to the series that you're not going to get in other series.
Mm.
And I want to say the difference is we handle comedy in a very dark, humorous way.
Okay.
Um, you're probably not supposed to laugh at, you're laughing at. And then we do have our heightened, dramatic, and intense crime, thriller, suspenseful aspects to it on top of that as well.
Yeah.
And you just see your average Joe who's played by Dion Cole, your everyday American trying to make it. And he finds out that his father, my grandfather, um, after he's deceased, he finds out that he was dealing with the Russian mafia and he stole millions of dollars from them.
Mm.
And now the mafia is coming after my family in the sense of asking us where those millions are. So it's a ripple effect of what happens after one murderous crime,
Yeah.
us finding secrets of my grandfather, and then just what happens when it comes to money,
Mm.
family, speed, all violence, a lot of gory stuff is happening in this show.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna see, I guess, regular human people that you can honestly relate to get caught up in some of the wildest situations and circumstances. So I think
Hmm.
you're gonna see themselves in, these characters' positions because we're your everyday people.
Yeah.
My mother, who's played by Tammy Townsend, she works at a diner. My dad, Dion Cole, he is a plumber, and
Mm.
I graduate high school, and I'm getting accepted into Carnegie Mellon. But our whole life
It's
turns
turned
up.
upside down. Yeah.
So it's juicy, and it is inspired by true events. It's inspired by the showrunner, our creator of the show, Rob Cullens, and has some aspects of his life in here. So
Yeah.
you're see that, wow, this isn't too, I mean, it could happen to anybody. It's not too far fetched, but it's a great show. It's a
Yeah.
great.
So let's talk about your character. What is she like?
So I think Jennifer is a naive young teenager trying to figure out how to navigate being an adult now that
Mm.
she's 18, but still has to understand that she's not fully grown. A lot of
Right.
18, they think they're grown and they're not. And she's just dealing with a lot of, like, I guess I want to say she battles with her moral compass. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Her morale is getting tested a lot throughout this show. She's
Yeah.
a young girl who is naive. She's super duper in love. She's dealing with her first love. So that kind of gets you blinded, kind of keeps
Yeah.
you things. And she's still trying to honor, certain integrity of her family at the end of the day. So you're gonna just see her, I guess, throughout the series, get an eye opener on the world is not as shallow as she thinks it is, and
Mm.
how she's trying to keep her family together. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. And I love when you talk about relatability because aren't most young girls who turn that age like that? Like they want to be grown so bad and they haven't even grasped the scope of reality, right? So when you think about this character and you, where did you have to gig from in order to portray this role?
oh, it wasn't too hard. Listen, I dealt with I still deal with it. I dealt with my parents. I deal with my parents to this day. Sometimes I'll be like, Ma, I'm so and so age, right? And she'll be like, I don't care. So what? So it wasn't too hard for me to dig into the aspect of that constant battle, which I think my character deals with the most. She's dealing with
Yeah.
adult situations, trying to make adult decisions, but has to conquer still being the baby. You understand
Mm.
what I'm saying? And trying to keep her family together. And I think for me, and a lot of us girls, we can relate to that at
Yeah.
home. We can relate to, like, our parents still treating us as kids. And I dug in from that. I know what it's like to be young and in love, sometimes blinded, hated. You don't know what's right.
Yeah.
I was 18. I didn't think I knew it all, but I thought I knew a lot. So it's
Yeah.
like, you didn't tell me
Yeah.
much, And then I was like, I know everything basically. I lived life. I went through high school, but so it wasn't hard for me. I mean, there were so many girls around me. I have my sister, I have my cousins, I have my friends who I pulled from experiences from
Mm.
for Jennifer because
Yeah.
she like you said, she is so relatable.
Yeah. And then you get to work alongside comedic genius. Dion Cole, everybody, is an
Yes.
icon. And I mean, from a child, even for myself, I'm like, oh my God, this man has come so far. And I'm
Yeah.
also so very proud of him and his career. So, what was it like working alongside Tammy Townsend and Dion Cole?
Oh my God. A dream. I remember the first day on set, we were taking still photos and we were taking photos. And when I saw him, I was like, what do I say? I don't know what to say. And then I was like, okay, I gotta introduce myself. I actually gotta do it. So then I'm like, I tapped him. I was like, hi. And he's like, hey, baby. And he gave me a big hug. And
Oh,
oh my God, he's been so sincere since the day I've met him. He's
yeah.
so humble. He's so just authentic, true, still still the same homie from around the way. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I was able to ask questions. He was able to ground me in my scenes.
Yeah.
And then it was just his energy was infectious on set all the
Mm-hmm.
time. I mean, and he was working the hardest. And
Yes.
I never felt anyway when I got to see Dion. It was like the
Mm.
same old happy-go-lucky energy,
Yeah.
chill, an honest person. Working with Tammy Townsend has been a dream. She's like she's like a mentor for me.
Yeah.
And I don't even think she understood what she was doing. As soon as I got on set, she would like tell me little things of what to do, like when there was emotional scenes coming
Mm.
up, like put yourself to the side. I mean, giving me pointers throughout the whole series on how to navigate certain things when things are
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
I felt like she cared about my character, my emotional preparation, and she put me on to things that I could do for myself. And she's still telling me things that I should be doing, need to be doing, even after the series. So
Yeah.
working with them was like giants in the room, but they just made you feel like we were all one. And I
Mm-hmm.
love to meet people like that, you know.
Yeah.
And when we would shoot all of our scenes, oh my God, we would have a blast, Courtney. Like it was just Tammy is a silly clown. Let me tell you, she
Mm-hmm.
is a hilarious person. So her and Dion, they're doing jokes the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm laughing in between takes. We had so much fun, so
Yeah.
much fun, and I
So
learned
the
a lot from them.
so the first four episodes are up, right? They're
Yeah.
up on BT. They're streaming right now on BT Plus. And you mentioned earlier about just what it allowed you to go through. You watching it back the first four. So what do you think the fans are going to take away from the series?
Ooh, that's a tough question. No one's asked me that one. That was a good one. Well, I hope that they take away, just in general, is that this is something different for BT Plus. This is something different for our
Yeah.
Black network. This is something I feel like we are owed a show that can relate to the masses and not
Mm-hmm.
just the community, not just our demographic.
Yeah.
So I feel like I hope what people can take away is that this show should be in the limelights with other series, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not limited to anything, and that we should be able to get another season, another season, and another season.
Come on, let's claim it. Let's claim it. So
Yes.
my last question for you, and I think this is a lot even for myself. We all have one person who roots for us, right? Regardless of whatever, they root for us. But
Mm-hmm.
my last question to you is, who are you thankful for in this space right now that has rooted for you this entire time? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you who are they, and what would you say to them right now in this moment?
Oh man. The well, the first person that comes to mind is my late grandmother.
Mm,
She died 2 years ago, and I think her last wish was to see me on TV, and I think that was my compelling drive to keep going.
yeah.
And that. It did something different to me. I think I approached just auditioning, just the seriousness of what I wanted to do with my life differently after she left. So I just feel like a lot of this is because of her. So even though she's not here physically,
Mm,
I would say it's my late grandmother who passed
yeah,
away. I give her the honor and the thank you. I feel like if it wasn't, ironically, if it wasn't for her passing, I don't know if I would have any of this stuff.
yeah.
So,
I love
and
that.
then just in general, I guess who's here, I just have to honor her because I feel like a lot of this has a lot to do with her.
Yeah.
My mom and my dad. I mean, they've been rooting for me since I was young. They've been fueling me. They put everything into me. Anything I wanted to do in acting, they supported. Anything that I wanted to accomplish, they've supported. And being a Jamaican girl, coming from a Jamaican family, you don't find a lot of Caribbeans who support this as a career. So
Yeah.
I always want to shed light on the fact that I am a Caribbean girl who had supportive parents. And I think other people growing up too in a Caribbean household, if you have a child or anybody in the youth who wants to do something in the arts, it is a career path. It can open a lot of doors for them. It could give them a lot of exposure and for them to be fed into it. And I think my parents, they just put everything into me. Anything I wanted with acting, they allowed me to do and they supported. So my two parents, they've been rooting for me since Jump Street.
Come on, come on. And we are going to continue rooting for you, Ashley, because we are
I
so
think
proud over here. Us New
they,
Yorkers over here on this side, we are so proud of you. If
I think,
you have anything else coming up, what can you tell us? What can you share? And how can people stay in touch with you?
right now, I don't have anything currently coming up, and unless I have some PR stuff coming up that I have to really confirm right now.
Yeah,
Trying to do some PR stuff in Jamaica, but I have to confirm that as well. That
yeah.
that was just but we are handling a strike, so I'm in solidarity with the writers, and it seems like as of July 12th, they're gonna come up with our negotiation contracts for
Come
SAG-AFTRA.
on.
So we'll see if we're getting ready to strike with the writers. So everything is kind of in a standstill with
Yeah,
with that going on, but we do support. I think our my union is super in support of the writers, and I'm supporting the writers
me
in
too.
that sense. And if anybody wants to stay in contact with me, I'm super tangible on Instagram. My Instagram name is my full name, Ashley Olivia Fisher. Feel free to DM, comment. I'm chilling, I'm here. So that's basically, the best way to, I guess, to stay in contact with
Yeah,
me. And that's what's next for me is just making sure these contracts are right for our whole unions.
as they should be. As they
Yeah.
should be. Well, everybody, this is Ashley Olivia Fisher. Please make sure if you don't do anything else, you stop by that page and you follow her just because I said so. And make sure that you are tapping into Average Joe weekly on BET. Plus, Ashley, you are now part of the Courtney's Corner community. And you are welcome back here anytime because you are now family. Okay?
Yes, I'm
Uh,
down. Listen, it's New York all the way.
Let's go. So we love you all for watching. Once again, thank you for being here at One on One with Courtney Starks. You have a good one. I love you for watching.
All right. Thank you, Courtney. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.